So if you look at what has happened right in generative AI, we are in the phase 2 of generative AI, if you want to understand there where we are at. And generative AI has taken the world by storm. And what I mean to say, it has disrupted every industry and it has truly changed everything. Look at enterprises, they're looking to get started on generative AI use cases to solve the business problem. And in today's era of agentic AI, which I am going to talk about in slightly late, is more about productivity and creativity space where you can try to solve the problems for the users, for every customers, users, and every segment. Gen Zs, right? So I come from a slightly old age. Of course, no hair in the head, it shows that. So if you look at in 1990s or 1980s or 2000, technologies were fragmented, right? Because it was starting to getting evolved and trying to get progressive. But when you advance to the current era, 2020s or 2021 or 2015 type of era, technologies seamlessly progressed and worked very well. And there is a reason to it because they mastered the art of solving all the problems. But the challenge is still there. When I say challenge, I am looking about technologies talking to other technologies, which is not happening. So that's why you see problems like data fragmentation, data silos, or technology fragmentation. So this is one of the major problem statement we're trying to solve for. If you look at any enterprise, small scale, medium scale, or a large scale enterprises, if you can think of, right, globally, India, anywhere, so you can see they are dealing with at least 6 to 8 disparate systems to get the data. And that is quite massive because it impacts about major part of their productivity and time. They waste a lot of time searching for internal documents and trying to get the answers, and it becomes a very painful process because somehow the search on external world has been appreciated, but the search on internal data has not been much appreciated and overlooked, right? So that's the problem statement we are trying to solve for. So what has happened? In the last few years, 7 to 8 years, a lot of technologies has evolved, right? It is coming at an overwhelming speed. And these technologies are forcing any enterprises, any organization to look at how to get adapted to the technologies so that they can stay in the game and be ahead of the competition, right? So let's imagine few of the things which you see. Reskilling in AI. Everybody wants to be there in AI space, right? And if you are not doing AI, that means you are left behind. Disruptions. And the challenges like getting retrained in the new digital space, new cloud platforms, new softwares. Innovations has to be kept up pace by the every organizations. And in demand of customer personalized experience. They're looking at more. So what has happened? This trends has pushed every company or organizations to think and realign the strategies towards the new set of technologies which you see, search, Gen AI, and agents. We have these three technologies, Gen AI and agents, very good, but still there is a problem because there is no better way I was trying to talk about, right? The way the system interacts with each other, right? There is an improper execution among all these three technologies which you see here. For example, today everybody is interested in creating agents. For example, I want to create an agent to automate my calendars. For example, I want to create an agent to automate, to get data from my CRM systems or my HR systems. But imagine people started creating agents like anything, right? Infinite agents. How do you manage that? Somebody might be thinking, I will create an agent with Google Cloud or AWS or Azure, right? How to manage that through a single pane of a glass? Those are few of the challenges you see. And don't forget, there is a security aspect, right? Sometimes overlooked and lately realized in the game. What I mean to say, these agents can be infected with malicious content. How to safeguard those, right? So as a result, these issues and challenges has introduced risk, cost, and complexity. So when I'm talking about, I'm about to go into agent space, is the next phase of agent people in the industry. So it caters to all the industry verticals. When I say industry verticals, I relate healthcare or financial segment, insurance, and all the different segments you see, right? Even public sector, government sectors. But these are primarily horizontal use cases for line of business users, right? So I come from architect background and I support most of the sales team on the ground to help cater to customer requirements, right? So imagine there is a, I know you guys might not have seen a tender because you come from a college background, but if you go through tender, these are 800,000 of pages. How much productive time of a sales guy or the architect guy is wasted in that searching the relevant content? Or, for example, I am a seller, for example, I am going to meet my customer, but to have a meaningful conversation and shorten sales cycle, I should be well prepared. So I should know what is the current opportunity I am going to target, right? But that is sitting in some separate CRM. Second, I need to know if this is an existing customer and then what is the billing and revenue, right? Again, that is sitting in a separate system. For example, I want to run campaigns to excite the customer about the company offerings and all. For example, in that way, it is lying in some other systems like maybe Salesforce marketing or Oracle Cloud marketing, right? Or I want to know if there is some open burning issues with the current customers, and that is lying in Jira, right? And there are some engineers communicating over a Slack saying that what is happening in the challenge and how to solve it. Imagine if I have to talk to 8 systems or 10 systems before I go for a meeting, how overwhelming and painful it is for me. But Google Agentspace, it can bring all the data, not only doing indexing, but also building the intelligence, saying that, hey, XY things you need to be prepared, this is some burning issues and next steps. And it gives me citations. You know, generative AI is always being held back by hallucinations, but here there is no such issue. As a result, you are foolproof backed by the data before you go for a productive meeting with the customer. You have internet search, your world data, everything. We have Google-like search for your enterprise data. So that's the power we are bringing. And it is perfectly contextualized and personalized. We talk of one of the trend, right? Personalization. This is what excites the customers, right? That's one of the aspects we are also trying to solve. So finding the data. Imagine the data is not like simple in a structured databases, right? It is not a CRM data. It can be images. It can be audio. It can be video, right? With the power of Google Cloud technologies, what we are trying to do is, it is natively multimodal. It is not a banded approach. It is not a bolted on approach. It is built from the ground up to support any kind of data, structured, semi-structured, unstructured data. So that is completely possible. The second thing, one who have the access to the data, of course, with right authentication and authorization, you should be a relevant users with the right roles and permissions. Then what it happens is having a data is good. But if you don't make a meaning or a sense of a data, that becomes a junk, right? And no value to the organization. So that part is backed by Gemini. So you might have different technologies. Is one of the profound technologies which has been helping with the latest cutting edge LLMs with thinking, reasoning power. So if you look at LLMs, large language models, initially when we started, it was instruction tuned. It was trained on massive corpus of data. Now, it is not only trained, but it is thinking and reasoning before it is trying to give you answer or make up an answer. That part is solved, right? Now, act. This makes more interesting because you have the data, you got everything, I want to automate my repetitive task. That's my ultimate goal because I want to be more productive and more creative in my work. I talked about, if you look at all the compliance standards, industry verticals, IOSOs of the world or requirement to any industry, we support that right from best of breed cloud solutions. So it is offering you a single unified search experience from external data, or you want to search your enterprise data, internal data, private data, or something else, right? Or documents. So it gives you a single pane of a glass where you can go and search. Second, it's a one-stop destination for all your agents. Today, you might have created agents with Salesforce. Tomorrow with Oracle technologies. Today with Google Cloud technologies. Tomorrow with Microsoft OpenAI technologies. Doesn't matter. You just keep pushing the agents, provided it is relevant for that user. That user doesn't have to go anywhere else. Come to the dashboard, search for agents, and get started and ask questions and automate the task. This is one interesting area is happening, right? If you are aware, last year, Notebook LM was there. We heard a lot of all the technologies like VO is our video model, where you give prompt for input or image, and it converts to 8-second video. Realistic images for you, you can put input and get. Similarly, we had a Notebook LM which went viral last year around sometime around March and April. The reason it went viral because it used to search and give a search for your own user, plus it creates a very good podcast. So imagine if I am not a person who likes to read through, right? It happens. As we tend to grow, you might develop different tastes and choices, right? Nothing wrong in it. So what will happen is it creates a more human-like conversation. Although it's a AI-powered research writing tool, it will create as if two persons are talking in a meaningful things and trying to excite the users and retaining the user's attention. So that's the power of Notebook LM. It's a free tool, just check it out. We only support Google tools. That's not wrong. That's not right, of course, because that's not completely true. We support all the industry tools. Want any tool of your choice, Microsoft Outlook, Teams, or right? We will support that. And as industry is progressing, we are releasing a lot of connectors to the sources. We respect access control list. This is very important, right? We want to make sure whatever the investment you have done in your security devices, infrastructure, especially the LDAPs, which are complex active directories. Traditionally, we have a lot of Microsoft LDAPs, right? ADs, where it has got specific roles, permissions, and everything designed for a user as per the hierarchy in the organization, right? We'll try to take all those inbuilt roles and check and then give the access to the user, without which we will not do. So that's the reason we say we respect the access control list and we support a lot of third party. You don't have to use Google Identity. If you are using Microsoft L3, Entra, Okta, Ping, Connect, we will do that. One thing I said, right, it's a SaaS. So when I said SaaS, with a slight disclaimer, so one-time effort is required to establish the connections, right? Because when you establish the connections, you need to have client secret, client ID, set to be the source system and to be breached, right? Only that part is one time. Today you might have started with 5 users, 10 users, tomorrow 1,000 users. You don't have to worry about it. It is automatically taken care of. So indexing, right? So we are trying to do the indexing of data. You might be wondering, so for example, if does it connect to anybody's data? No, right? It just indexing and ranks the pages, right? Similarly, it goes one step up in your system because it's your enterprise private search. It goes index and only filters out the content which is relevant for that particular user. It will not pull out anything. For example, we all know there are some different chat spaces for management people or senior leaders, right? They might be talking about important clients, customers, and everything. And you should not have the access, right? So that part is automatically taken care by. For all your requirement, for all your productivity and creativity, whether you want to create agents or just do the search, it's a one-stop shop for you. It gives you access to all the latest technologies of Google Cloud. So today we are in Gemini 2.5 Pro, which is the master version. Tomorrow we might be in 3 or 4 or 5, right? Doesn't matter. You get automatically the access behind the scenes to the agent space, right? And to get you started, if you're wondering, like I said, it is equivalent to Google Maps or Gmail or all these consumer products from Google, right? The reason I'm highlighting this is because when you want to get started, you might need something agents, right? To experience how it is working. So there are 2 default agents. One is idea generation agent if you are brainstorming some ideas before you want to get started. And similarly, there is research agent. If you want to build a product design of a new product or a software, you can do that. And automatically, it gives you research, final report, and the audio version. So that you don't have to do. For example, if you are a customer and you are going to expand in Europe, you must say not think like I can go and land and expand. That doesn't work, right? There are different compliances, standards, policies, territorial regulations, right? All that it can be taken care of. Any user can get started. Did not have to be a Python or a data scientist or a R guy, right? Support all the languages. When you look at languages, we support not only English, Hindi. We support all the major languages you can think of. And one thing I will leave you with this slide is when you look at the consumer side of products like YouTube's, Gmail, search, these are all battle-tested products because these are run on the best engineered cloud infrastructure. And each of the products serves more than 2 billion users. Imagine we are giving you that infrastructure for your Agentspace and generative AI. So with this, I would like to thank you for the opportunity.